Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and the Hague Convention on the Taking of Evidence. People call it the Hague Evidence Convention, just to be short. But this convention has been in place since 1970. It's a very durable agreement. As of last year, there are 57 countries that have signed on to the Hague Evidence Convention. The purpose of this agreement is to have countries transfer data or request data related to civil and business matters. So the way that it works is that in a particular country, based on a particular case, one party, they can send a letter to a judge asking for a particular evidence from a different country. This is a judicial exchange, so the judge will be able to send that letter on to The Hague, and people at The Hague will be there to be able to sort out how this data transfer would happen. So this method of being able to do data transfers in civil and business matters has been very durable. It's definitely not fast. It's not as fast as maybe, if you made an agreement yourself, but it at least has rules and regulations as to how this data transfer needs to happen. One thing or one wrinkle that comes up from time to time in these data transfers is that not all countries are common law countries that are part of the agreement. So they may not be, like, for example, Mexico wouldn't be able to send over or wouldn't agree to send over data if there wasn't like a trial going on already. So some countries are not willing to send data over if it's like pre-trial discovery or if the request is not specific enough related to the matter. So it just depends on what makes the most sense for a particular case. One thing that I like about this particular agreement is that it is done in kind of a neutral fashion, and The Hague is sort of helping to make sure this data transfer happens. I'd love to see The Hague actually take on more responsibility or some other interest in being able to navigate other types of data transfers that have to happen around the world. This seems to be an issue that comes up quite a lot, not just in evidence, but like maybe like consumer or commercial other data transfers. I think a lot of people would like to see more international involvement around, especially data privacy, because these are issues that impact everyone around the world. So even though different countries may have different rules and regulations, having kind of a neutral third party help in that, either education or even coming up with mechanisms for those data transfers would be a great addition, I think. I think it's really important that people understand these data transfer mechanisms, because right now, as we're seeing with things like the Privacy Shield, a lot of the data transfers that we think of from a business perspective now are sort of getting a bit intertwined, or they're touching on things that were never touched before. So before it was like civil was separate from criminal, business is separate from government, and now we're seeing, because of the types of data that's being collected and the types of data sharing is collected, that all these data sharing mechanisms now are sort of under more scrutiny. So it remains to be seen what will happen in the future with data sharing and how The Hague will sort of play a part as a neutral third party in the international area of data privacy. But I very much love to see more international involvement and more international cooperation on data privacy issues. That's it. Thank you.